Give me a minute. There is no internet connection. That's why. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Is 5G? Do you have the password for that? Do you have the password for 5G?
Create.
Wait.
Vrindavan. Create 2020.
Don't make it too loud. Everybody will know the password.
Correct. Do not create.
Same? Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Finally, it is connected. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Guess we'll just go straight to the verse. Huh? You can still chant? Okay. Hare Rama. Bhagavad-Gita 5.12, right? Huh? 5.12? How many of you come for Bhagavad-Gita class every day? Like the usual group? And the Matajis? Sometimes? Very good. Hare Krishna, What's this? Huh? Sinataji Mahapasad. Only me? Only me? How about for everyone? Oh yes? Very good. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. It's not working. I don't know why. Technology makes you longer, but it's supposed to be faster. So now we're ready. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Giridharadhari Gopi Jana Vallabha Giridharadhari Janardhan Yasodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yamunatira Vanacha Yamunatira Namaam Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Śrīmate Gopal Krishna Kṛṣṇa Prabhupada śāntim Bhagavad-Gita Pacharan Kirman Shadavadpati Namaam Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Śrīmate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Namine Namaste Sarasvati Devi Gauravani Pracharini Nirvisesa Sunyabadi Paschatya Desatarini Om Ajnana-timirandasya Gyananjana Salakaya Chaksuram militam yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Jutapadakamala Shri Guru Vaishnavamscha Sri Rupam Sakrajatam Sarana Gunatangitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Sadvadutam Parijana Sahitam Kṛṣṇa Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Sri Visakambitamscha He Kṛṣṇa Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesa Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrisabhanusute Devi Pranamami Haripriye vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Jai Sri Kṛṣṇa Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasati Gaura Bhakta-vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Continue reading from the Bhagavad-Gita as it is. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Chapter 5, Karma Yoga, Action in Kṛṣṇa Consciousness, text number 12. I have colds and this place is very cold. English samajhta hai? Everyone understand English, or you're just here because it's nice and cool? Both, okay. You don't mind if I blow my nose a little bit because it's really cold here. Huh? Turn this off, please. I already have a cold. Okay, thank you. Yuktaḥ karma-phalam tyaktvā śāntim āpnoti naiṣṭhikīm ayuktaḥ kāma-kāreṇa phale saktaḥ nibadhyate yuktaḥ karma-phalam tyaktvā śāntim āpnoti naiṣṭhikīm ayuktaḥ kāma-kāreṇa phale sakto nibadhyate yuktaḥ karma-phalam tyaktvā śāntim āpnoti naiṣṭhikīm ayuktaḥ kāma-kāreṇa phale sakto nibadhyate. Somebody else? Mataji's. It's okay. Two can be. You can be two.
Ayuktaḥ
yuktaḥ, one who is engaged in devotional service. Karma-phalam, the results of all activities. Tyaktvā, giving up. Śāntim, perfect peace. Āpnoti, achieves. Naiṣṭhikīm, unflinching. Ayuktaḥ, one who is not in Kṛṣṇa consciousness. Kāma-kāreṇa, for enjoying the results of work. Phale, in the result. Sakto, attached. Nibadhyate, becomes entangled. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The steadily devoted soul attains unadulterated peace because he offers the result of all activities to me. Whereas a person who is not in union with the divine, who is greedy for the fruits of his labor, becomes entangled. Everybody please repeat. The steady devoted soul attains unadulterated peace because he offers the results of all activities to me. Whereas a person who is not in union with the divine, who is greedy for the fruits of his labor, becomes entangled. Purport. The difference between a person in Kṛṣṇa consciousness and a person in bodily consciousness is that the former is attached to Kṛṣṇa, whereas the later is attached to the results of his activities. The person who is attached to Kṛṣṇa and works for him only is certainly a liberated person, and he has no anxiety over the results of his work. In the Bhagavatam, the cause of anxiety over the result of any activity is explained as being one's functioning in the conception of duality, that is, without knowledge of the absolute truth. In Kṛṣṇa consciousness, there is no duality. All that exists is a product of Kṛṣṇa's energy, and Kṛṣṇa is all good. I repeat that one. All that exists is a product of Kṛṣṇa's energy, and Kṛṣṇa is all good. Therefore, activities in Kṛṣṇa consciousness are on the absolute plane. They are transcendental and have no material effect. One is therefore filled with peace in Kṛṣṇa consciousness. But one who is entangled in profit calculation for sense gratification cannot have that peace. This is the secret of Kṛṣṇa consciousness. Realization that there is no existence besides Kṛṣṇa is the platform of peace and fearlessness. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Yuktaḥ karma-phalaṁ tyaktvā śāntim āpnoti naiṣṭhikīm ayuktaḥ kāma-kāreṇa phale sakto nibadhyate. The steadily devoted soul attains unadulterated peace because he offers the results of all activities to me. Whereas a person who is not in union with the divine, who is greedy for the fruits of his labor, becomes entangled. So the difference between a devotee of the Supreme Lord who offers the result of his activities, all of his activities to Lord Kṛṣṇa, attains peace and also have no fear. Why? Because he is not attached to the results of his activities. That means he is detached. What is detachment means? Detachment means that for whatever action that one performs, he is not concerned what will be the result as long as he's offering everything for the pleasure of Lord Kṛṣṇa. When we are on that platform, that means that is the transcendental platform. From text 1 to up to here, text 12 explains about how one should be like a lotus leaf. Srila Prabhupada says that the last most beautiful thing in this world is a lotus flower. Have you seen a lotus flower? Oh, have you seen a blue lotus flower? Very rare. Prabhupada says you can see blue lotus flower in the Himalayas if you also qualify. Mostly what we are seeing here, that the flower garland vendors are selling, is not really like lotus flower. It's like almost like lotus flower. Sometimes you see a big lotus flower being offered to the Lord, or to the Lord's pure devotee, Srila Prabhupada. It is almost like lotus flower, resembling, because lotus flower is very rare. And a lotus flower is on the water, but it is not being wet. It is like we call waterproof. Waterproof means it's in the water, but at the same time it is not touched by water. Especially in text 12, it explains about that. The one should perform his duty without attachment, surrendering the results unto the Supreme Lord, is unaffected by sinful action, as the lotus leaf is untouched by water. That means anyone who performs activities without ulterior motive, without any self-interest, and only performing his duty specifically for the pleasure of the Supreme Lord or his pure devotee, is karma-free. What's karma-free means? Karma-free means he does not have to have any reaction, material reaction, which will be the result whether he will enjoy materially or suffer the result of his activities. That is the secret. If we dovetail our activities for the pleasure of the Supreme Lord, therefore certainly he is a liberated soul. No more karma. That's what you call karma-free. Karma-free means no more taking birth in this material world. Even though one performs his duty accordingly, his action will not result for further repeated birth and death again in this material world. Now, who wants to perform that activities? Not all of you? You want to take birth again? So why are you not raising your hands? Oh, you did not understand my question. It's very simple. Who wants to take birth again? Raise your hand. Now, Who does not want to take birth again in this material world? Huh? Okay. Good. 90%. That means 10% still wants to take birth. Somehow or other, we should not be attached to the results of our activities. Arjuna, the whole Bhagavad-Gita actually is not about fighting. The whole Bhagavad-Gita is to be detached from the action that one should be performing. Even though Arjuna is a Kshatriya, his duty is to fight. But Kṛṣṇa says to Arjuna, fight for me. Not just fight for the sake of fighting because he's a Kshatriya. Lord Kṛṣṇa told Arjuna that all of these kings and soldiers and everyone here, they're already, practically they are dead. They're all killed. Not by you, by time. Time I am the destroyer of everything. So Kṛṣṇa is telling Arjuna that you do your duty for me. But don't be attached to the result. Because Arjuna was thinking, forget about this. Because his nature as a devotee is very compassionate and he doesn't want to harm anybody. So Kṛṣṇa told Arjuna, the Supreme Lord, Shri Bhagavan Uvacha, says that do not be attached to the result, because practically I'm the one who's responsible for all of them. Because religious principles has to be established, and the Bhagavad-Gita was spoken because out of compassion by Lord Kṛṣṇa to the people, especially in Kali Yuga. Why is it that the Bhagavad-Gita has to be spoken again and again and again? And recently, even 5,000 years ago. That means that, especially in Kali Yuga, we need a guide. We need a direction. We need an inspiration, because Kali Yuga is so degraded that, as Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur says, this is not a place for a gentleman. Get out of here as soon as possible. So we should not be attached to the results of our activities. The fruitive workers, that means the materialists, they are so attached. They will not do anything without anything in return for what they do. It's like a person who works 9 to 5. Sometimes in America they have one full-time work job and they have another part-time job, because they're attached to the result so that they will be able to fulfill their material desires. And that is not even enough. They're so greedy. It says here, who is greedy for the fruits of labor, he becomes entangled. He doesn't have time for his family, because you have to go work early in the morning, the kids are still sleeping. As Prabhupada says, it's like in Mumbai, he gave that example, they have to travel by train for an hour or two to reach their job. And then in the evening, they have to come back late, the kids are still sleeping, already asleep. So when is the time for family life? Maybe in the weekends. But then in the weekends, he'll be so tired, he just wants to sleep for 2 days, practically. They will spend some time with their family, very minimal. But he will work so hard to fulfill the material desires of his family members. So is he really enjoying? Yes or no? No. That's why there is what you call extended sense gratification. We want to enjoy, but we want to enjoy also with our family. So I will work so hard so that I will be able to fulfill my family's material desires. And if I see them materially happy, I will also be happy. But is that really happiness? No. It is not. He's always in anxiety. How am I able to make more and more money so that I'll be able to provide more and more sense enjoyment for my family members? And therefore, he's always in anxiety. But a devotee of the Supreme Lord is not in anxiety. Of course, he's also in anxiety. Like Mother Yasoda, she's also in anxiety. Whether Kṛṣṇa is eating his lunch or is always only playing. In Vrindavan, Kṛṣṇa is only enjoying. He doesn't have to work. The devotees also, associates of the Supreme Lord, they also don't have to work. There is no anxiety for them. Their only main business is how they can increase their love towards the Supreme Lord. How we can increase our love towards the Supreme Lord is not to be attached to the results of our activities. Let Kṛṣṇa be happy. If Kṛṣṇa is happy, I'm also happy. Let his pure devotees be happy, then I will also be happy. We cannot develop love for Kṛṣṇa without developing our love towards our spiritual master. There's no such thing as love of God without having love of the spiritual master. This is very important. So like Prabhupada says, if you love me, love my dog. That means we're all dogs also. That's why we have this Kantimala. This is the sign that we are all servants. Servants of Lord Kṛṣṇa and his representative, pure representative. So we should not be attached to the result of our activities. The function of the jiva is to develop love for Kṛṣṇa, love of God. Without knowledge of the absolute truth, we will not be able to develop love for the Supreme Lord. And how we develop our love for the Supreme Lord? By developing our love towards our spiritual master and the devotees of the Supreme Lord. Everything that happens to us, whatever happens to the devotees or those who are trying to become a devotee, we're not devotees yet. Very far from that. We're just trying to become a devotee here. And trying to become a devotee, we should not be attached to the results of our activities. Our duty is just to please the Supreme Lord and his pure representatives and not be attached to the result of our actions. He says here, Kṛṣṇa is a supreme absolute truth, the personality of Godhead. In Kṛṣṇa consciousness, there is no duality. It's like Prabhupada mentions, like in this spiritual world, 1 plus 1 is equal to 1. And 1 minus 1 is? What is that 1 means? Kṛṣṇa. Because he is the supreme worshipable Lord in the spiritual world. Everything revolves in Kṛṣṇa. He says also that in the spiritual world, Kṛṣṇa is the only male and everyone is female. In nature, Kṛṣṇa is a supreme enjoyer and everyone is enjoyed. This is our nature. If we understand that, that means that whatever happens to me, it is for my own good. Even it seems to be the way I'm not expecting it to be. Because we're always hopeful. We're always, the nature is that we always think about ourselves. That is the nature in the conditioned state, which means that is not the real nature. The real nature of the soul is to always think of Kṛṣṇa. That is Kṛṣṇa consciousness. Because in Kṛṣṇa consciousness there is no duality. All that exists is a product of Kṛṣṇa's energy. So somehow or other, we have come in contact with the material energy, and the modes of material nature governs the material world. We become contaminated, and we think that we are the enjoyer. That is the conditioned state, but it is not. Our activity should be dovetailed into Kṛṣṇa consciousness. Because Kṛṣṇa is all good, and the contaminated state of the conditioned souls become covered up. But Kṛṣṇa, we've heard many times, Kṛṣṇa is more eager for us to go back home than we do. Very rare that one will do everything and surrender everything for the pleasure of the Supreme Lord. In the conditioned state, the fruitive workers, they just want everything for himself, or again for his family. But if we dovetailed our activities and Kṛṣṇa become the center of our activities, we don't have to worry of anything, either spiritually or materially. So we have to do our duty and be detached from the results. How we can do that? We have to control our senses, including the mind. By doing so, controlling the senses, perform austerities, we'll be able to become detached from the results of our actions. These are the 3 steps how to become like a lotus leaf. From text 1 to text 12, it shows and tells us how to become a lotus leaf, become detached. It's not so easy because we are attached to the results. We're thinking that we are the doer, but we are not the doer. According to the Bhagavad-Gita, the doer is the material energy. We are dictated by the modes of nature according to our nature that we acquired and the activities that we perform. If we dovetail all of our activities for Kṛṣṇa's pleasure, the material energy doesn't work. It will not touch us. Do you follow? If we're always thinking, what's in it for me? What do I gain from this? Devotees of the Supreme Lord, their only business is to give Kṛṣṇa pleasure. Now, what are the duties of those who are aspiring to become a devotee? I have some notes here from the Bhagavad-Gita. A, B, C, D. Okay, remember this, okay? What is A? Association with the devotees. These are step by step. It's very scientific. Knowledge of Bhagavad-Gita is a science that if we follow it, we will attain love of God. Association with the devotees. Now, there are different kinds of devotees as well. There is a materialistic devotee. That means a neophyte devotee. A neophyte devotee means he only sees Kṛṣṇa and himself, and he doesn't see others. Neophyte is like that, and he has a lot of material desires. He approached God, he approached Kṛṣṇa only for material desires. A madhyam platform means he knows who is Kṛṣṇa, he knows the devotees, he knows the envious people, and he also knows the ignorant. And the Uttama Bhakta, that we should aspire and search for them. Seek. Who is a pure devotee of the Supreme Lord? A pure devotee of the Supreme Lord is engaged 24 hours in Krishna's service. An example is our spiritual master, Srila Prabhupada. Fully engaged. They don't have any private life. It's wide open. It's like an open book. They are only thinking of how to spread Krishna consciousness, how to give others Krishna. Actually, it says, the Shastra says, a pure devotee of the Lord, he sees everyone as a devotee except himself. That is very high. That's why it's very rare. In this world, there are three aspects that are very, very rare. Bhagavan, Bhakti, and Bhakta. BBB. Bhagavan. Lord Kṛṣṇa comes only once in one day of Lord Brahma. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also. Bhakti. Pure devotional service is very rare. Sudurlabha. According to the nectar of devotion. And to a devotee, to see a pure devotee of the Lord, a pure devotee of the Lord, just by seeing them, he doesn't have to even say a single word, you become Krishna conscious. By looking, having their darshan, by seeing them, it makes you immediately think of Krishna. And it will become so powerful that it says 1/11 of a second association with them. Lavamatra. He will inspire you to do bhakti just by seeing them. And yes, Bhagavan, Bhakta, and Bhakti, they're very, very rare. So, yes, association of devotees is very, very important. You have to choose the right devotees to associate with, because not all devotees are on the same level. We should read Bhagavad-Gita every day. How many of you read Bhagavad-Gita every day? Don't be shy. How about you? You read Bhagavatam every day? It's okay. It's the same. Bhagavad-Gita, Śrīmad Bhagavatam. This is our everyday book. Every day I read Bhagavad-Gita or hear Bhagavad-Gita. There is also audio books available now. As soon as I get up early in the morning, I will turn on Prabhupada's lectures or reading of Śrīmad Bhagavad-Gita. It purifies your consciousness immediately. Chanting. We have to chant attentively. We have to chant avoiding the offenses. So A, B, C. And the last thing is D. Diet. Only eat Krishna Prasad. You are in Vrindavan. If you think that, oh, everything is prasadam in Vrindavan, let me eat outside. I'm sorry. You don't know what you're eating there. I've had that experience. Well, I don't eat outside. I haven't even what you call whatever. You going to a Prem Mandir, how many dabas are there? Huh? You go to Loy Bazaar, how many dabas are along? You will get sick. I had experienced the other day, one of my god brother, he was so sick because he ate outside, and he, who knows who prepared them. Not everyone in Vrindavan is a devotee. Many are here to exploit, to take advantage, to make money. Yes or no? So you must be very careful. Only eat what is being offered to Kṛṣṇa. ABC, association, Bhagavad-Gita as it is, chanting and diet. So our purpose is to pursue what is being directed by the Bhagavad-Gita and by Srila Prabhupada and our spiritual master. If we aspire to make advancement in spiritual life, it will drive all these sinful activities. Then automatically, material desires will be washed away. You cannot perform spiritual life and be engaged in spiritual, sinful life. It's not possible. You cannot go like on a bus, 1 foot on a bus, and then 1 foot on the ground. You have to make a decision. If you want to go to Delhi, let's say, there's a bus here that goes at 5 o'clock in the morning, you cannot decide whether I should go or not. Better you go or not go. Otherwise, there'll be an accident. So spiritual life will drive away sinful life automatically, as both are incompatible. This is a life lesson. So be detached from the results. And therefore, if one performs his activities, this is the secret of Kṛṣṇa consciousness. Realization that there is no existence besides Kṛṣṇa is the platform of peace and fearlessness. At the end of this chapter also explains the peace formula. Prabhupada says that if you want to tell others about Kṛṣṇa, you should read this purport and translation and tell about others. You just repeat this. He says that if you repeat this to others, they'll be able to also somehow, hopefully, they'll become peaceful. Bhoktaram yagyatapasam sarvalokam mahesvaram suridam sarvabhutanam gyatnamam śāntim richate. These are only the main sloka that we need to know if one wants to tell others about Kṛṣṇa. Just repeat this. A person in full Kṛṣṇa, or full consciousness of me, knowing me to be the ultimate beneficiary of all sacrifices and austerities, the Supreme Lord of all planets and demigods, and the benefactor and well-wisher of all living entities, attains peace from the pangs of material miseries. Prabhupada says the whole world is a miserable condition. This is the nature of this world. Dukkhalayam asasvatam is temporary and is full of miseries. No one in this world is free from being miserable, except the devotees of the Supreme Lord, except those who are aspiring to become a devotee. So, if somehow or other, we can see everything in life as profit and loss, he cannot have peace. I repeat, one who sees everything in life as profit and loss cannot have peace. Because he's always thinking, he's always making, he's always calculating whether he will gain something or not. For a devotee of the Supreme Lord, he doesn't think, oh, what will I gain from this? Of course, our goal is to become pure devotee of the Supreme Lord, to develop love for Kṛṣṇa. Now, whether Kṛṣṇa will reciprocate or not, we don't have to worry about that. But definitely, Kṛṣṇa will never forget anyone who tried to be his devotee. He feels obliged. He will never forget, even whatever they can offer to Lord Kṛṣṇa. He even says, patram puspam phalam toyam yo me bhakya prayachati. Whatever one can offer, Kṛṣṇa will feel obliged. You remember that story of the wife of Vidura, who offers banana peel? Kṛṣṇa accepted it. He did not say, no. The monkeys, they will not take the banana peel. They will throw away the banana peels in Vrindavan. You've seen that? Huh? They will only take the fruit. But Kṛṣṇa knows, because what Kṛṣṇa is wanting from us is our love and devotion. The object is not the main thing that Kṛṣṇa is looking for. What is our intention? Why we're doing what we are doing? That is the most important thing. What is our intention? Is it only for his own pleasure or for my own benefit? So this is the secret of success. Control the senses, again, has to be there. Controlling the senses means use the senses for Kṛṣṇa's pleasure. Then everything will be properly situated. I will stop here. Are there any points or questions? There are many things more to say, but I will stop here. It's 7 o'clock. Any question? Yes. How can you surrender to Kṛṣṇa? Read Bhagavad-Gita every day, like you. You know so many slokas, but you also have to practice what you've learned. Being learned means you apply the Bhagavad-Gita in your everyday life. Okay? Surrender doesn't mean that you do what your mind is telling you to do. That's why you have to control your mind. You have to control your senses. Use your senses for serving Kṛṣṇa. Control the mind. How you control the mind? Only think of Kṛṣṇa. Think about how you can improve your chanting. Think about how you can give Kṛṣṇa to others. This is some ways how we can surrender. Surrender your mind, your words, your body, or your action, and your very self. Atmanivedanam. It's not enough to wear tilak, kantimala, kurta, and dhoti. That is not surrender. One can practice Kṛṣṇa consciousness even with a pair of pants and shirt. But you have to chant. Because the more we call on Kṛṣṇa, then the more Kṛṣṇa will come to us also. How many times have we heard, when we take one step towards Kṛṣṇa, Kṛṣṇa take 10 steps towards us. So this is what the spiritual master wanted us to do, to surrender to Kṛṣṇa. He does not want anything for himself. Does he want anything for himself? No. All he wants is for us to be a devotee, to chant our rounds, to associate with the devotees, to perform practical devotional service, and tell others about Kṛṣṇa. This is surrender. Surrender means I don't surrender to any devotee, only to Kṛṣṇa. No. Surrender to Kṛṣṇa means surrender to his devotees also. Okay? Yes?
There was one point that you mentioned that Kṛṣṇa is the only enjoyer and
Kṛṣṇa?
Kṛṣṇa is the only enjoyer and all of us are supposed to be enjoyed by him. So
Yeah.
when we preach to new people, so when we tell them that this thing, that Kṛṣṇa is the only enjoyer and we should dedicate all our life and activities, all the results of our activities to Guru and Kṛṣṇa. So it is very difficult for them to accept this fact and dedicate. So how can we convince them?
Well, actually, when we please Kṛṣṇa through his pure devotees, we also become happy. Our happiness is to see the master, the spiritual master, happy. If the spiritual master is happy by our service, Kṛṣṇa automatically becomes happy. As it says in the scriptures that one who says that he is my devotee is not my devotee. One who says that he is a devotee of my devotee, he is my devotee. And in the spiritual world, when the gopis see Kṛṣṇa's beauty, the beauty of the gopis is multiplied 10,000 times more. And then when Kṛṣṇa sees the beauty of the gopis multiplied 10,000 times more, Kṛṣṇa's beauty also increases. So who's more beautiful? When the gopis see Kṛṣṇa happy, their happiness increases 1,000 times more. And then when Kṛṣṇa sees the gopis being happy, Kṛṣṇa also becomes happy. But always there is a competition. And even in the material platform, when the servants serve the master, they prepared so many preparations of food. But do you think the master can eat all of those preparations? Maybe he will taste little. Then there'll be a lot of leftovers. And who will enjoy those leftovers? The servants. So they also enjoyed automatically. In the beginning, we have to pay the price. And the price is that we have to be greedy. Greedy for attaining love of God. And we cannot attain that if we don't control our senses, austerity of the mind also, the body and the words. That's why we have to perform sadhana bhakti. Get up early in the morning, attend Mangalarti, see the Lord, perform Tulsi Arti, Guru Puja, chant our rounds. You will not go back to Godhead if you don't do all of these things. And there is no shortcut. It is not what we're doing that will make us become happy. It is the intention that will make us happy. If our intention is pure and only for Krishna's pleasure, we will also become happy. See, they want immediate result. In Krishna consciousness, it doesn't work because it is gradual, inch by inch. Slowly, gradually. You can go fast. If you really want, you can go really fast. But you have to be greedy, like the materialists. They're greedy for money because money is honey. Money, 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 sweeter than honey. We should be greedy for service. Take all the opportunity that you can to make advancement in Krishna consciousness. And you will be happy. You've seen Prabhupada's disciples, you've seen so many senior devotees, they're still there. If this thing doesn't work, a long time gone, no one will be here listening to Bhagavad-Gita. But why are you here? Because you want to attain the most precious, priceless gift, love of God. But you have to pay the price. And in the beginning, it is very bitter. It says in the Bhagavad-Gita that material happiness is nectar in the end, but it is poison in the end. Oh, nectar in the beginning, but poison in the end. Spiritual life is bitter in the beginning, but it is nectar in the end. Okay? Any other points?
Maharaj, to surrender completely to the Lord, we...
What?
To surrender completely to the Lord, we first have to...
I cannot hear. There's some echo. Put it aside. Maybe you don't have to use it.
Maharaj?
It's yeah. It's kind of loud. Yes. Yeah. I can hear you. Go ahead.
To surrender to the Lord.
Full surrender to the Lord.
To surrender to the Lord, first we have to put our ego down totally.
Yeah, you cannot surrender with having a false ego.
I feel that ego is very much body, mind, and intelligence. So what can I do? And also the lack of service or actual service.
Again, to surrender to the Lord, you have to surrender to His pure devotee. And surrender means getting rid of your false ego. It is not possible to surrender to the Lord if you have false ego. What is false ego? False ego means to think that I am this body. And Prabhupada, most of his lectures are like that. He's hammering, you are not this body, you're spirit, soul. You are a servant of Lord Kṛṣṇa. So we cannot surrender if we are in the bodily platform. It's not possible. We have to go beyond the bodily platform. And how you can do that? By chanting Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, by reading Srila Prabhupada's books every day. Prabhupada says 1 hour minimum. 1 hour. It doesn't include the Srimad Bhagavatam class. It doesn't include the Bhagavad-Gita class. This is extra. It's like chanting also. When you chant, you don't do anything. When you chant Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, you don't have your cell phone with you, no computer, no, only chanting. You can walk if you're feeling falling asleep. It's alright. Have you seen Prabhupada's chanting, walk, doing in the room? So, yes, surrender means your body, mind, words, and completely yourself. Atma. We cannot be surrendered if we are in the bodily platform. Right? Is there anything else? What? Lack of service attitude. That's why we chant. We're asking, oh energy of the Supreme Lord, Srimati Radharani, please engage me in the service of Lord Kṛṣṇa. Your Kṛṣṇa. She's the only one who can say, my Kṛṣṇa. We can say, my Kṛṣṇa, but actually, it is not my Kṛṣṇa. We belong to Kṛṣṇa. Sometimes or often and usually people say, oh my God. You've heard of that? Oh my God. Yes, you can say that, but actually He's not your God. He's everyone's God. Kṛṣṇa is everyone's property, but actually we are ultimately property of Kṛṣṇa. And Radharani, she's the only one who can say, my Kṛṣṇa. Okay? Anything else? Yes. Last two questions. Give the microphone, please. Don't turn it off, just keep it on.
Hare Krishna Maharaji. I just want to ask you that you told that while in Krishna consciousness we do all the activities for Krishna's pleasure.
Yes.
And out of that we also get happiness.
Yes.
But when somebody comes into Krishna consciousness, it might happen that he is very, he has come into Krishna consciousness for his own happiness, or he is feeling blissful or peaceful.
That's alright.
And gradually he might develop that thing that I have to do everything for Krishna's pleasure. So how do we get from that stage to the next one?
The nature of the soul is anandamaya vyasat. We are all pleasure-seeking entities. Like the ants looking for sugar because he'll be happy by having a grain of sugar. Our nature is that we want to be happy, but we cannot be happy separate from Kṛṣṇa. We can only be happy if we serve Kṛṣṇa ultimately, not serve our senses, gratify our senses. That happiness is momentarily. It is not everlasting and it's not increasing. Material happiness is go up, then down. And when you go down, it is far more suffering. So in Krishna consciousness, you want to be happy. When we come and see the Lord, we're happy. Because seeing the Lord is also service. Having darshan of the Lord is also devotional service. If you go and watch Bollywood movies, you may be enjoying, but that enjoyment is actually suffering later on because you identify with the characters in the movie, but you are not. Everything is superficial. So yes, we want to be happy in Krishna consciousness. That is our goal. But to ultimately be happy all the time, that you have to pay the price. Do you understand? That means yes or what? In America, this is no. In India, this is yes. Okay, last question.
When a devotee performs his duty of service without any attachment to the fruits of
I cannot, I'm sorry. It's too much echo here.
Hare
Yes.
When a devotee performs his duty,
When a devotee
performs his duty
performs his duty without any
attachment to the results of the service,
okay,
with proper intention to serve Kṛṣṇa only,
yes,
and let's say,
with proper intention to serve Kṛṣṇa only,
let's say his duty or result of his duty were unsatisfactory.
let's say that the result of his activities is unsatisfactory to the devotee,
To the devotee.
should
This devotee be responsible for unsatisfactory activities?
the devotee, we should be always not satisfied with our service. Then there is always improvement for our service. If you become just satisfied, then you will not make advancement. We should be always thinking how I can improve. There is some satisfactory, should be there, but we should always eager for more and more endeavor, trying to please Kṛṣṇa more and more. We should not be satisfied with, we should be satisfied, but at the same time, not be satisfied. Does it make sense? It doesn't make sense. We should be happy, but always be eager to improve and trying our very best, because your very best is not good enough. It doesn't make sense right now, but it will be. The more you chant, the more you read, you will understand. Does it make sense to you? It's like you're not happy with, one samosa. You would want more and more. But then, do you have the capacity to enjoy that? In the spiritual world, they can eat more and more. Like Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he can eat all. Like Lord Jagannath, he can eat more and more and more. So we should be aspiring more and more service for the Supreme Lord. If we're not satisfied, that is very good. Because ultimately, we want to make better. We want to do better. Does it make sense? Yes or no? Yes. Go like this, then I can say that. Does it make sense to you? I'm asking you, you're the one who asked the question.
Maharaj, I think my question was a little bit different, and what you say makes sense.
But that is, your question is you're not satisfied.
I was wondering more, if a devotee performs service, should he call responsibility for the correct service?
Should he be responsible for what?
Incorrect service.
Failure? All you have to do is just, your intention is to please Kṛṣṇa. Whatever is the result, Kṛṣṇa is the responsible. Like Arjuna, he was told to fight, to kill his grandparent, to kill his cousins, his friends. He's not satisfied. But Kṛṣṇa says, do it for me. Will you do the same thing if Kṛṣṇa told you to do it? Whatever he says, you will do it? Yes or no?
Yes.
So you don't worry about the result. It says here, don't be attached to the result. But you make sure that you're doing the best of your ability. Like we are involved in the management here. Kṛṣṇa Balaram Mandir. The result is not all good. But we're trying our best. And we try to fine-tune things. We'll not, if there is a mistake, we'll try to correct. But we are in the material world. We are in the material world. But Vrindavan is special. It is a spiritual world. Our mentality should be only to please Kṛṣṇa, without any motivation for ourselves. Whatever the result, and whatever happens, it is good for me. Always think like this. Whatever happens to me, Kṛṣṇa always wants the best for me. And if something happens to me, which I am not expecting it to be, it is for me to learn how to improve next time. Are you happy with that reply?
I am, yes. Thank you, Maharaj.
There you go. Kṛṣṇa always wants the best, even for the materialist. Not just for the devotees, for everyone. But they don't see it because they think they are the doer. We should not think that we are the doer here. Kṛṣṇa's energy, the material energy, is there for us to learn. Kṛṣṇa is indirectly the material energy. Whatever happens to me, it doesn't matter what it is always for my own benefit, that I should learn how I will improve next time. That's a heavy statement. When will we realize that? That day we will be Kṛṣṇa conscious. Because everything is in Kṛṣṇa's hands. Nothing moves, even a blade of grass, without the will of the Lord. You understand? But don't be attached to the result. That's the problem. You will suffer more. You'll become more miserable. You'll be more in anxiety. You will be in the material platform if you are attached to the result. Whatever happens to me, it is Kṛṣṇa's mercy. Even though it is not according to my plan, even though it is like negative, even though I'm suffering, it's still for your own benefit. You understand? That is Kṛṣṇa consciousness. Look at Prabhupada, he sacrificed so much going to the West, but he knows Kṛṣṇa is with him. That this is Kṛṣṇa's plan, and he knows what's going to happen also in the future. So in the beginning, there may be very adverse situation, what's going to happen. But go along with it. Continue your chanting, continue your reading, continue association with the devotees. I traveled all over the world and I met devotees. Something happened to them negative, they stopped chanting. They stopped reading. They stopped associating with the devotees. What's going to happen to them? They'll become more miserable. They'll suffer more. Never ever stop. Whatever happens in your life, keep chanting. Keep reading Prabhupada's books. Purify your consciousness. That is the only answer. That is the only solution. No other solution in this world. And if you find another solution, let me know. And I will try to adopt it. Okay? Srila Prabhupada ki? Nitai Gaur Sitana Premanande! Hare Krishna. Okay. That clapping will only make sense if you be able to follow what I said today. Okay? So you can clap again. Hare Krishna. Om Tat Sat. Hare Krishna.